In one afternoon, 70,000 men were killed. Not in a week, not over days, one afternoon. It happened 2,200 years ago on a dusty field in southern Italy. And it was so perfect, so brutally, mathematically perfect, that armies are still copying it today. West Point teaches it. The Israeli Defense Forces train on it. Rommel studied it. So did Patton. What did one Carthaginian general figure out that no one before him had ever seen? And why, after 2 millennia, has nobody done it better? This is the Battle of Cannae, the most studied battle in all of military history. To understand why Cannae changed everything, you need to understand what Rome was. By 216 BC, Rome was the most powerful military machine on Earth. Their legions had crushed every enemy they'd ever faced. Organized, disciplined, relentless. They fought in tight formations, pushed forward, ground opponents into dust. It worked. Every time. For centuries. Then Hannibal Barca arrived in Italy. He hadn't come by sea, too risky. He had marched an entire army over the Alps, in winter, with war elephants. Historians estimate he lost nearly half his men just getting to Italy. He arrived exhausted, outnumbered, in enemy territory. Rome wasn't worried. They should have been. Hannibal Barca was not a reckless gambler. He was a chess player, and he was thinking 3 moves ahead. He had already beaten Rome twice, Trebia, Lake Trasimene, both times luring Roman overconfidence into ambush. But Rome kept sending bigger armies. Rome's strategy was simple: overwhelm him with numbers. Send enough legions and sheer mass would win. Hannibal knew this. He planned for it. By the summer of 216 BC, Rome had assembled their largest army ever. Historians estimate 80,000 infantry and 6,000 cavalry. 2 consuls commanding together, Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro. Paulus was cautious, experienced. Varro was aggressive, impatient, eager for glory. Hannibal had studied both men. He knew Varro would push the attack, so he chose his ground. He chose his timing, and he waited. August 2nd, 216 BC, Cannae, southeastern Italy. Hannibal had roughly 50,000 men, outnumbered by more than 30,000. On paper, this looked like suicide, but Hannibal wasn't fighting on paper. He chose a flat, open plain, the kind of ground Rome loved. Why would a weaker general choose terrain that favored the stronger army? Because it was a trap. Here is what Hannibal built, and it had never been done before in recorded warfare. He placed his weakest troops, his Gallic and Spanish infantry, at the center of his line, deliberately. Then he curved that center line forward like a bow, bulging toward the Roman lines. His strongest veterans, the African infantry, he placed on both flanks, held back, hidden in plain sight. His superior Numidian cavalry, the finest horsemen in the ancient world, he placed on the wings. Now here's the genius. He didn't plan to win the center. He planned to lose it, slowly. As Rome pushed forward with its massive infantry block, Hannibal's center would bend, then bow inward, then fold. And Rome would push harder, compressing their own men tighter, thinking they were winning. But the flanks wouldn't move. The African veterans would hold, then turn inward, wrapping around Rome's sides like 2 closing hands, while his cavalry, already victorious on the wings, would sweep around behind the Roman rear. There would be nowhere to run. Every Roman soldier surrounded, on all sides, at once. Historians call it the double envelopment, the most lethal tactical formation in military history. The Romans advanced at dawn, confident, arrogant, exactly as Hannibal expected. Consul Varro pushed his infantry forward, 55,000 men in a dense, crushing block. They wanted to overwhelm the center through raw mass, through Roman will. And Hannibal's center held, for a while, bent inward, fell back slowly. The Romans pressed harder, packed tighter. Men began crowding each other, losing room to swing their swords. Then the cavalry struck. On the left wing, Hasdrubal's heavy cavalry smashed through the Roman horsemen, completely, in minutes. He didn't pursue them. That was the discipline. He wheeled his horses around, rode the length of the battlefield, and hit the allied Italian cavalry on the opposite wing from behind. The Italian cavalry collapsed. The Numidians gave chase, clearing Rome's escape routes. Now the two ends of the battle were closed. The African veterans on the flanks turned inward, step by step, methodical, relentless, compressing the Roman mass from both sides. From above, if you could have seen it from above, it looked like a fist slowly closing. The Romans had no room to fight, no room to retreat. Men were being crushed against their own comrades, suffocating under shields, trampled by the living and the dead. And then the cavalry returned from the rear. The circle was complete. 86,000 men, completely enclosed. On every side, Carthaginian steel. What followed was not a battle anymore. It was a massacre. In approximately 6 hours, some historians say less, between 47,000 and 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed. Historians debate the exact number. Nobody debates the horror. Among the dead, 1 consul, 2 former consuls, 29 of 48 military tribunes, and 80 Roman senators, the cream of Rome's aristocracy, bled out in a wheat field. Hannibal lost roughly 6,000 men. That ratio, 70,000 to 6,000, has never been matched in Western military history. Rome was shattered. Back in the city, senators put on mourning clothes. Women were forbidden to publicly weep. Rome feared mass panic. The treasury was nearly empty. The army was gone. Hannibal had done what no enemy of Rome had ever done. He had broken them in one afternoon. But here is the irony that every military historian points to. He didn't march on Rome. His generals begged him to. The road to Rome was undefended. One of his cavalry commanders, Hannibal, reportedly told him, "You know how to win a victory, Hannibal. You do not know how to use one." Historians still debate why he held back. Some argue he lacked siege equipment. Others believe he expected Rome's Italian allies to defect and collapse the Republic from within. Some think he simply miscalculated Rome's will to survive. But Rome didn't collapse. They refused to negotiate. They raised new armies. They changed their strategy, never again fighting Hannibal in open battle. Instead, they cut off his supply lines, starved his campaign, slowly. 16 years later, the war would end, not in Italy, but in North Africa. At the Battle of Zama, a Roman general named Scipio, who had survived Cannae as a young officer, turned Hannibal's own tactics against him. Hannibal lost. Carthage was finished. But Cannae, the battle, was never finished. Here is why Cannae never died. In 1914, the German military built their entire opening strategy for World War I around recreating Cannae on a continental scale. The Schlieffen Plan, a sweeping double envelopment of France, was Hannibal's blueprint at national scale, with millions of men. In 1940, Rommel's lightning strikes through the Ardennes, encirclement thinking. In 1991, Schwarzkopf's famous left hook in the Gulf War, encirclement thinking. Every pincer movement, every flanking maneuver, every attempt to surround and destroy, the fingerprint of Cannae. Military scholars call it the Cannae ideal, the dream of complete destruction, of annihilating an enemy rather than simply defeating them. It is the most ambitious, most dangerous, and most studied concept in all of military strategy. West Point cadets study it to understand how terrain, timing, and psychology combine. The IDF analyzes it for operational encirclement doctrine. Business schools use it as a case study in leveraging weakness as strength. One man, one afternoon, one field in southern Italy. 2,200 years later, we are still taking notes. Hannibal never took Rome. Rome eventually destroyed Carthage so completely that historians say they salted the earth so nothing would ever grow there again. Whether that's literally true is debated. What isn't debated? Carthage is gone. Rome is history, and Cannae is immortal. If you want to see how another ancient general rewrote the rules of war, the next video covers the battle that changed the entire Western world. It's right here. Don't miss it. And if this kind of history is what gets you out of bed in the morning, subscribe Epic Origins History. New cinematic history every week.